उनके स्वागत के निमित्त अनमोल फल बड़े मधुर मीठा मनाते हैं। सीता, लक्ष्मण, भगवान राम की भी आदर के साथ
When they entered the lodge, they found that these guests were as decorated as the back. Then he went for the most intimate room, all kinds of food. He brought them. Sita, Latchman, and Ram ate the food with great joy and satisfaction. At this time, the sage showed them a beautiful room which he had prepared for them.
Please don't call me in. Oh, your princess, you leave me, please.
1, 2, 2. Go to 1.
प्रेम से बोले से अरियमा पितृ देवता की जय, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. My dear friends, let us all stand. Flowers. Look here, my assistant. Just take flowers. Give them boy flowers. Right, darling. Come line up this way. Line up here. As we offer this prayer, we seek the protection and the guidance of Bhagavan, He who is a friend of all. Today we surrender ourselves at the lotus-like feet as we seek the blessings upon the family members and indeed the soul of the departed one who has left us a few days ago. We pray for the welfare, we pray for protection, we pray for guidance, and most of all, we pray for peace. Hari Om. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha, Sri Saraswati Namaha, Sri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaram, Guru Sakshat Parabrahm, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Shanno Mitra Shan Varunang, Shanno Bhavate Aryamang, Shanno Indro Brihaspatihi, Shanno Vishnu Rurukramang. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami, Tadmam Avatu, Tadvakta Avatu, Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram. Om Namo Paramatmane Namaha. We surrender the feet of that Lord and Master, He who leads and He guides and He who protects. We seek His blessings. शरण में आए हैं हम तुम्हारी, दया करो है दयालु भगवन. शरण में आए हैं हम तुम्हारी, दया करो है दयालु भगवन. संभालो बिगड़ी दशा हमारी, दया करो है दयालु नाम हम है बल है, ना हम है शक्ति, ना हम है साधन, ना हम है भक्ति, तुम्हारे दर के है हम भिखारी, दया करो हे दयालु भगवन, शरण में आए है हम तुम्हारी, दया करो है दयालु भगवन, दया करो है दयालु भगवन। प्रेम से बोले श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, विष्णु भगवान की जय। बैठ जाइए, प्लीज टेक योर सीट्स, ऑफर द फ्लावर। ओम इतिहस्तापक्षालानां समर्पयामि। ओम अमितोपस्थिति स्वाहा, ओम अमितोपिदानं स्वाहा। नेक्स्ट पढ़िए। अमितोपस्थिति स्वाहा। ओम इतिहस्तापक्षालानां ओम ईश्वराय नमः, माधवाय नमः, पवित्रो व सर्वस्तान्नत्वापि वा यस्मरेत पुण्डरीकाक्षं सभन्तं शुचि। ओम श्री विष्णु, ओम श्री विष्णु, ओम नमो परमात्मने नमः। Okay. So my dear friends, as we gather this morning, as we say our final goodbyes to this goodly gentleman, we prepare to take the sankalp, the promise that we're making to ourselves and to God, that we will attend to this ceremony to the best of our abilities, with faith, love and devotion, and with love in our hearts. Om Namo Paramatmane Namaha. Om Vishnu Vishnu Sri Krishna Dvitiya Parade Rishi Rad Kulkrab Saptavas Mandare Kalipatam Chalene Jambu Vessels Canal Reiki Deshan Gate Trinidad Deshe. Number 55, Ramai Trace Debe Grami. And today, being Thursday, Brihaspati Vardine. Take the family name in your mind. Gotra Ubham, Shubhamasi, Shubharasi, Shubhatam, Namaham. Take your Rasi names. Pretasya Namaham. Take the name of the deceased. Stiti, Seshu, Greheshu, Yatha, Rishistana, Stiteshu, Namaham. Yajmanam, take your names again. Yajmanam, aham karishe, anteshti karma aham karishe. Om Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. So you all will repeat after me. Om Adyamuka Gotrasya Amuka Pretasya Preta Nirvita Yarta Uttam Loke Prapte Audhav Dokha Karma Karishe. Now we pray to Mahavishnu Bhagwan, he who is the sustainer of this universe, he who sustains everything, and include for the sustenance of the soul, our soul, and indeed the soul of the departed one. Hari Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rutam Studvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Panupanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagam Dhyana Vashtata Taragate Namanasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginom Yasyantam Nusura Suraganam Devaya Tasmai Namo Namaham Sasanka Chakra Sakirita Kundalam Sapita Vasram Saruseda Heshanam Sahar Vakshastale Kaustubam Shubam Namami Vishnu Shirisa Chaturbhajam Hare Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Prem se Bolo Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. Offer the flowers. So, my dear friends, the proceedings forward, we are paying respect to the 5 elements. The 5 elements that make up this body, the 5 elements that make up every living thing, and indeed the 5 elements that existed, that kept the name and the form of the late Mr. Latchman Ramoutar alive. Today, out of gratitude, members of this family pay obeisance and give gratitude to these 5 elements as we return them in a very significant manner to its original source from which it had came. So you will offer water first 5 times, then you. Sprinkle on the body. When you finish, you just go around so and join the line. Om Adamukha Gotrasya Amukha Pretasya Mritistaneshwa Nirmita Snanam Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam Snanam Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. Om Adamukha Gotrasya Amukha Pretasya Mritistaneshwa Nirmita Snana Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. Om Adamukha Gotrasya अमुकप्रेतस्य मृत्तिस्थलेष्वा निर्मितस्नानमैर्यते तपो प्रतिष्ठिता। ओम अदमुखगोत्रस्य अमुकप्रेतस्य मृत्तिस्थलेष्वा निर्मितस्नानमैर्यते तपो प्रतिष्ठिता। ओम अदमुखगोत्रस्य अमुकप्रेतस्य मृत्तिस्थलेष्वा निर्मित स्नानमैर्यते तपो प्रतिष्ठिता। Adamukagottasya Amukaprettasya 5 times. Snanamayariyate tapo pratishtita. So chandan on the forehead, at the ears and under. Om Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Saneshwa Nirmita Chandanam Tapo Pratishtatam Chandanam Tapo Pratishtatam Samarpayami. Om Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Staneshwa Nirmita Chandanam Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. Om Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Staneshwa Nirmita Chandanam Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Staneshwa Nirmita Gandham Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtitam. Gandham Tapo Pratishtitam. Gandham Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtitam. Malas. Now we have the offering of the malas. But in this case, the string that connects all relations, all the emotions, that string has been disconnected today. As all physical meaning, all physical relations has now come to an end. Offer. Om Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Staneshwa Nimita Pushpamala Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtitam. Pushpamala Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. Fix this one, son. Fix this one properly. This one, this one. Om Adamukagottasya Amukapretasya Mriti Staneshwa Nirmita Pushpamala Mayariyate Tapo Pratishtatam. ॐ यं द्वारे महाघोरे अन्यना तमसावृते तत्रवलोकनर्तायां दीपोऽयं प्रतिष्ठिताम्। ॐ अद्यमुखगोत्रस्य अमुखप्रेतस्य मृतिस्तनेष्वा निर्मितदीपं मेर्यते तपो प्रतिष्ठिताम्। In your leaflet, in your flyer, on the third page, we'll now chant that stotra to Bhagwan Krishna. Jai Krishna Hare, Sri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare, Jai Krishna Hare, Sri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हूँ, आशा का दूर किनारा हूँ। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हूँ, आशा का दूर किनारा हूँ। और कोई न केवन हारा हूँ, फिर तू ही। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, Shri Krishna Hare. All of you touch hands together. Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Tu chahe tu sab kuch kar de, vish ko bhi amrit kar de. Tu chahe tu sab kuch kar de. Just walk around. Yeah, just do our thing, walk around. पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा, पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। शौनाम प्रेतस्य ब्रह्मदेवता स्नान पिंडमेते तपो प्रतिष्ठिताम्। ओम नमो परमात्मने नमः। Just pull the cloth, somebody. Let them see the thing there. Dalam Mariate, Tapo, Pratishtika, Mofa. Take a seat. Mr. G. प्रेम से बोले से अरियमा पित्त देवता की जय. My dear friends, what a solemn occasion it is that we assemble to say goodbye to this legendary figure who is well known in these parts, in Trinidad, in Tobago, in America and Canada as well. Well established individual. And how tragic it is that today we have to assemble together as a people to say goodbye to this wonderful gentleman. Let me say, my dear friends, this is very traumatic for me to stand here and to conduct over these proceedings, because this gentleman and I shared 30 years of friendship and as musicians playing together. Through thick and thin, we were together. We had shared many great moments. Many personal matters were discussed between him and I. Family matters, personal matters, important matters as well. And we had the opportunity to socialize and enjoy what we did, among with other members as well. So it's taking a lot out of me to stand here. But as per his wish, and my civic duty is to perform this rite to the best of my ability. So if I stumble here and there, I beg your forgiveness firstly, because it's taking quite a bit of energy out of me to stand here to say goodbye to this gentleman here tonight, this morning. But however, my dear friends, as we see the remains of the late Uncle Latchman Ramoutar, it tells us of how fragile life is. How fragile life is. I mean, it's easily broken life. We have so much expectations. We have so much things that we hope to acquire and to achieve. But my dear friends, in this world that we live in this planet Earth, if we ain't sure of anything, there's one thing we must be sure of. On planet Earth, the unseen, unwritten law of this planet is, he who comes into existence must go out of existence. That is the law of this planet Earth. If you haven't realized it as yet, welcome to planet Earth. That, as beautiful as we are, as educated as we are, as talented as we are, as well developed, as rich as we are, as poor as we are, that day will come when we will have to take exit out of this earth. If that is the case, my dear friends, why are we stumbling? Why are we stumbling at the little things in life? And we are moving ourselves very far apart. You'll agree with me. Many of us saying what? We hear it everywhere. A long time, but in more happier days. And I want to believe so. I'll tell you why. Many years ago, we are closer to each other. Very close. So close, we knew what the neighbor was cooking in the morning. Very close we were. Closely knitted community and family. But some or the other, my dear friends, we began to place things and ideas and expectations and acquisition between these relationships. But worst of all, what did we put? We put the hate, the greed, the malice, and the jealousy is the worst off. We put that between relationships, and what happened? We send each other very, very wide and far apart. So life is now becoming boring. Life is becoming treacherous because we no longer have each other's interests at heart. We no longer have the love that we used to have in our hearts. We place our emphasis instead of individuals. We are all familiar in these parts. We are very lucky to be exposed to some of these tenets of our tradition. That says what? We know the line very well, better than I do. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani, karu pranam jodi yug pani. If we want, my dear friends, to undo some of the actions that we have performed, that is the line, that is the medium, that is the yardstick which we will use to correct it. Means, Siya Ramai, I should not be seeing one person. Because when we look, we're no longer seeing that person as part of me. More so the Chaupai says what? To see God in that person that we are looking at. To see God in that person. Easier said than done, eh? Because when we look, who are we seeing or what are we seeing? We are seeing education. We are seeing class. We are seeing caste. We are seeing jobs. We are seeing the type of vehicle you buy. When we look at that person, we no longer valuing that individual. Valuing that individual as we should. And my dear friends, this is one of the greatest blunder that human beings are making. A great blunder. When we what? When we see things and we see expectations and we see jobs. It is ironical sometimes when I go abroad, sometimes to do prayers and so on, and we have been introduced to persons, it says, and I find it very strangely, that we say, this is my son, and he's an engineer. This is my daughter, and she's studying medicine. I tend not to listen to the second part. This is my daughter, or this is my son. I appreciate that. How come we sticking engineer and doctor? Are we measuring the worth of a person? Are we measuring a person's worth by their profession and their career? Are we doing that, my dear friends? When all of us, we have to understand that we are only made out of 5 things. Only the 5 things. And what are they? This body, the gross element, dirt. Mati oran, mati bichawan. Everything is dirt. And if this body is turning to dirt, And if you think I lie, just pass your hand behind your ears here. And you'll see what's happening. Pass your hand at your elbow here and see what's happening. This body is disintegrating at a very fast rate. But yet still, we choose to what? Think that this dirt structure is better than that dirt structure. How silly we are. You know, my dear friends, today, on the passing of this goodly gentleman, we have to see each other as genuine could be, with sincerity and love. Because दौलत के जूते नशे भी हो चूर, गरीबों की दुनिया से रहते हो दूर, अजी एक दिन ऐसा आएगा जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा, माटी ही ओरन माटी भी चावन, माटी का तन बन जाएगा जब. This body is turning, is just dirt. ऊंचे आसमान के बीच ऊंचे तेरे आस है, पर कभी सोचा नहीं गिनते की असास है, इसका तो हिसाब कर अंगूठी अंगुलियों पे धर, कितने कर्ज करा बला बलाई है, कितनी कर्ज रहा बला बलाई है, भलाई का पल रह जाएगा जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा, माटी ही ओरन माटी भी चावन, माटी का तन बन जाएगा जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा. ऊंची हवेली है ऊंचे महल, ऊंची हवेली ये ऊंचे महल, पर भर के जाएंगे पगरे बदल, ले तू किसी की दुआओं का पल, ले तू किसी की दुआओं का पल, बड़ी से तू तल और नेकी के चल, जैसा बोएंगा वैसा पाएगा जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा. दौलत के जूते नशे में हो चूर, गरीबों की दुनिया के रहते हो दूर, अजी एक दिन ऐसा आएगा जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा, जब माटी में सब मिल जाएगा. What is mati? Mati, mitti. Just like matikor, we know mati from there. Mati means dirt. Mati mein sab mil jayega. We all turn to dirt. Then, my dear friends, what is the big deal? What's the big deal? Before time runs out, my dear friends, let us, on this eventful day, realize that we too, we are all in the line to our demise. We are all joining the line. But slowly some exit before us, but we are also in the line. Then, my dear friends, we have to see each other, really see each other. And that's my plea. Never to see caste, I am higher than you and lower. Never to see creed and race and everything like that. And Trinidad and Tobago, these days, if you allow me, has been poised because of racial slurs and so on. We must not allow that to capture us and bring us down to our knees. Because we are all God's creature. We are all Mati ke Putli. We are all the clay dolls. And so, my dear friends, today, as we observe this gentleman here, you'll meet a person who has gone through life, just like many of us. He has gone through life in a very, very peculiar kind of way. So this gentleman, after having many, many discussions with him, He said, he always spoke about, he ate the finest, he drank the finest, and he wore the finest clothes that he could have afforded at that time. He also alluded to me that what? Imperial's men's store in San Fernando was his good friend. The newest material that came out, every bolt of cloth, he would get the first span's length. Whenever there was a wedding or some occasion, he'd be bedecked with the best clothes. You know, enjoying life. Of course, drinking the best as well. Hence, he was inherited the name the bad boy. But this bad boy had a passion for something, a passion for satsang, a passion for dharma. And it didn't start it then, it started way beyond. Started when he went to Debe CM school. And you know, and today I want to label him as an ambassador of Hinduism. At that time, in the Debe CM school, as he mentioned to me many times, they had to line up and sing the hymns of Christianity. He said he was one person never sang those Christian hymns. Because there was something he said wasn't right. Until the teacher, he told me the name of the teacher, I can't remember. The teacher would pass and put his ears near every child's mouth to hear if they were singing the hymns. And when he reached the hymn, he said nothing. The teacher held him by his pants and put him in front of the class and said, if you can't sing the hymn, then you have to sing something. Scared as he was, what did he do? He began singing an Indian song from a very old movie. He sang. In lieu of the hymn, he sang the song. I think it was the movie was from 1950 something. And when he sang, he got a standing ovation. The entire school was summoned to listen to him. That was his introduction into music and singing and preservation of culture. Then he was taken from there to join a singing exhibition among the Canadian mission schools, the Presbyterian school we call them these days. A singing exhibition. And he was taken by the teacher in his, I think it was a Zephyr Motuka, if I remember well, to different schools around where he had to perform in front the entire school. That's no easy business for a child. Until, and you know, the thing about it, when that was being done, the teachers would bring gommeshell fig, banana, the big ones, and ask him to eat before he sang. Why? Like the Sikya fig bird. If you eat fig, your voice sounds more, even sweeter. So he had to eat fig and sing. Until one day there was a big convention among all schools, and he was carded to sing an Indian song. He and a student from his class, a female student called Aisha, I think Aisha Shah was her name, but Aisha was the first name. They were going to sing a duet from a very famous movie at that time. But as destiny would have it, because of the amount of bananas he ate during that week, the morning before he had to go to perform at that convention, diarrhea struck. And he was unable to fulfill that commitment he had made. That led to him being ashamed to go back to school and everything, and the rest was history. But to tell you that early on in his age, my dear friends, he was standing up and holding the torch of Dharma very high. Very high. So bad boy, from then, from school until transforming to something else, always followed satsang. And I've given a piece of history, so allow me, because we will not have the opportunity to hear this again. This gentleman was in satsang with the most senior people at that time. He and the late Uncle Sugar. One of the names I remember, Uncle Brooks' father, the late Uncle Buchan Singh, and at that time, I think the harmonium player was Uncle Thomas from down the road. And they used to go, and he told me he used to be shaking shak shak. But you know, my dear friends, what stood out for him the most, by doing those activities and participating in those activities, the older people, and this was very powerful for him, that touched him in his heart, the older people of that time, when they would see them, they would put their hands together and say, Sitaram Beat. Because of his association in good work, in satsang and in prayer. That prompted him to be what? To be part of the Gajanan Bhavan Sabha temple and Ganesh Yag and so on. That has a history by itself. And also, at that time, he was also a member of not Pandit Rambasad Tiwari Ramai group then. He was a member of Pandit Sharma group. He had a girls group, and he and Sugar was the only girls. Sorry, they were the only boys in that girls group. Only boys in that girls group. So he told me he was ashamed because he was shaking shak shak in those days. But everybody else were playing music. And when he saw that, something went on in his mind and in his heart. That, no, if these individuals, Uncle Sugar and so on, could play accordion and harmonium, and Uncle Sudesal Burbul and so on, and he was shaking shak shak, he was challenged by that situation. And he said to himself, I have to learn. That, my dear friends, is what we call a flash in the pan, an aha moment. When the inner workings, the inner machinery inside of us, Buddhi, Chitta and Manas, when it comes together, a decision has to be made, a change has to take place. And so, he welcomed that change and that challenge and started to learn harmonium. And he tells me, he asked his brother, who is present here, Beto, to send him I think it was a flute or something, some musical instrument where it's shaped like the notes are like organ, but you have to blow. And he got that, and from that, he realized that the notes in that melodica flute was the same as the harmonium, and he began from there. There was no turning back. There was no turning back. So the bad boy, having been inspired, was now turning a new page. So if we were to understand it, my dear friends, if we were to understand this very carefully, from being an ordinary person to taking a decision to change his life, okay? He became, from an ordinary, he became a Vipra. He became a Vipra. That is what a Vipra is, not what we are told of. Vipra means the man who has taken upon the decision upon himself to change his life and turn a new page. The Vipra. And from then, he moved on to be one of Trinidad's most competent and most powerful and skillful harmonium player when it comes to Ramai and Chaupai. Out of that, Bad Boy was one of the most sincere and committed person towards Dharma and to Satsang. Up to yet, He gave his life. He sacrificed his happiness and in sincere commitment to satsang. And no matter the problems that they encountered at that time, he persevered. He persevered to continue the good work without stopping. And in doing that, he was one of the pillars, as you heard, we all know, and we heard the record that was playing while the hearse was coming. One of the pioneers, one of the engineers of that record. So we salute him. If he lived his life, either we loved him or not, but we can learn a thing or two from his existence. And the first one I want to underscore is the commitment. So even the heavens this morning is weeping for a goodly gentleman like this. So and as destiny would have it, he continued to support many, many budding artists in and around this community. So he is a pillar. And today, if we are to learn something from his life, although we may not like him, although we did not, we were not fond of him, to understand and to learn of his sincere commitment. When he tells you, I am coming for satsang, or we have satsang, if you expect none, he will be present. He will be present. His commitment, be it a public holiday, be it Sunday, be it Christmas Eve, to show you the commitment, my dear friends. It was a Christmas Eve day when we had satsang. 5 of us went, and just like this wire here, there was a party next door, and we were doing the satsang here. But the person next door was what? They were quite reasonable. They hold their party, and we did the satsang here, and we were almost near to the wire. And as soon as we finished, they started to beat table and sing the next side. On a Christmas Eve day, and the persons were saying what? All you will have satsang Christmas Eve day? Why didn't come another day? He up and say, be it Christmas Day, we will come too. The commitment. You see? And I said this at the passing of the late Tanti Mamin. She was undergoing surgery, serious surgery. And he went to see her before. And she said to him, stay a little bit now. You don't know if I'm going to make it. And his reply was, I have to go satsang this evening. If I stay here, I will do nothing for you. But if I go to the satsang, I will pray for your welfare. It takes a strong, sensible person to speak those words. And for his perseverance, my dear friends, I'll tell you sometimes, although we say satsang and satsang and satsang, satsang it becomes very difficult at times. There are many times when we go satsang, and because we were insulted badly and treated with disdain and almost chased out, the next day he was ready to go satsang again. Such was the perseverance. And his loyalty must be spoken of. Loyal to his group, loyal to his community, loyal to his tradition and his religion. Having always puja, having always engaging himself in good things. As time went on, now being a Vipra, the late Pandit Naresh Prasad invested him with a Janeu. So he became Dvija, means the twice born. when you invested with Jadim. So he took up another mantle of leadership, where every day he would perform Hawan, every single day. Because when you have Janil Sanskar done, you have to do certain things. And he did it. So he moved from the ordinary, just up the spiritual ladder, just for one, from the Vipra stage to the Dvija, one more stage, Brahman. After we climbed to the ladder of Vipra Dvija, now Brahman stage, that he has achieved. Coming down to the end, he was silent, he was God-fearing, and he gave up his life and his energy towards the Lord. That's the stage of Brahmanism. So, starting from the bad boy, if we still want to call him so, he had climbed the spiritual ladder. And not only him, my dear friends, but all of us, we have that chance to do that. To climb the ladder while being loyal. And that loyalty that he had was second to none. And I will just say, allow me for a minute more to tell you a little bit about his loyalty. No matter what had happened when it comes to satsang and group and temple and so on, he was always loyal to the cause. But did that loyalty turn to disloyalty? The answer to that is no. Because many of us, and I know a few of us here, we all know of the differences the group had coming down to the end with the late Pandit Tulsi Prasad. We know well. But my dear friends, I know many of us, look at us with scorn, some of us. Some of us took tablet for a fever that was not yours. And blame him and blame myself. And today, allow me, I'm going to put this matter to rest because we want to set this soul free. Free today. Free of any wrongdoings. Because none of us are perfect. The group that he followed, and I see Uncle Royce and others, Sister Malti and others here present, had a policy of satsang has no charge. You cannot put a value, monetary value for satsang. So we did satsang without the hope of getting anything. And when that policy began to change, when a price started to be put, probably at that time, Pandit Tulsi Prasad ji, may his soul rest in peace, maybe he was financially constricted by somewhere or the other. I know there was some situation developing in Florida, if I had to make mention of it. The policy of satsang not being charged or charged for, or price, had begun to change, of which myself and the late Uncle Mount stood up against. That satsang should never have a charge. That was the founding fathers' policy of this group. And when we protested, we were told what? Get the hell out. So today, my dear friends, I'm not opening an old sore. I'm just putting this matter to rest once and for all. Once and for all. And for those of us who took the tablets and you didn't know, there are only 6 people who knew what was happening on that very eventful day in 2008. And we were stigmatized with all kinds of things. But we stood up for the policy of the forefathers and those who the trailblazers who laid the foundation many, many years ago, including late Pandit Dari Baba and Pandit Sharma and so on. So having been told to get out, I said, okay, if destiny have it, that's it. I was the first person to say no. This is where it stops. And up to yet, believe me or not, and standing next to me here is my cousin, he was there as well. Up to this day, I've never asked anybody to join any group with me. Never. There was never in our thoughts to create another group because he was loyal to the cause. history would have it, that we all, now that I'm clearing the air, we'll see where we are today. And so, because of, there's the nice story of dog and the bone, we guess that probably the late Pandit Tulsi Prasad was seeing something else. And that something else was, and I'll tell you, that another, by Budlal Samaru, Doy we call him, had a group, and he wanted to associate himself with that group. So he had to what? Get rid of us. And getting rid, he said, get the hell out. That is the history. That didn't deter us. Of course, I told them, no other group is not forming anything. This goodly gentleman here, this being, he says what? After so many years of satsang, do you think we should just sit by the side and do nothing? If we went satsang for 30 years and we cannot do something for ourselves, then we would have failed. That was the genesis of creating a group, of which until his demise was part of. That is the history, my dear friends. That is the history. Because we all know in life is only for 4 days. One of the loved songs or selections that he sang and he always spoke about, that this world is a small place. We are only here for 4 days. छोटी सी ये जिंदगानी रे 4 दिन की जवानी तेरी हाय रे हाय गम की कहानी तेरी. For life is a sad story, We are only here for 4 days. What is that 4 days? The 4 days, brahmachari, grihasti, vanaprast, or sannyas. Those are the 4 days of our lives. The 4 stages in our livelihood. Choti si ye zindagani re 4 din ki jawani teri हाय रे हाय गम की कहानी तेरी. शाम हुई ये देश बिराना तुझको अपने बलम घर जाना सजन घर जाना राह में मूरत मत लुट जाना छोटी सी ये जिंदगानी रे 4 दिन की जवानी तेरी हाय रे हाय गम की कहानी तेरी. The selection says, life is like a dulahin leaving her parents' home, closing a chapter there in her life and opening a new one to continue life. Isn't that what life is? Today he is closing this chapter and he's opening a new chapter. Babul ka agar tuta jaye akhiyan kor andhera chaye ji dil ghabaraye आँख से तप के दिल का खजाना छोटी सी ये जिंदगानी रे 4 दिन की जवानी तेरी हाय रे हाय गम की कहानी तेरी हाय रे हाय गम की कहानी तेरी. My dear friends, life is such. Whilst we have the breath in this body, we have to enjoy every moment, because soon that chapter will close and we will have to move on. Like him, have done his duty, and if you ask me, in my opinion, he has done well. From that situation and that background to reach to this stage, it takes a great soul. Someone who is inspired, someone who was blessed by his successive godfathers to reach here today. And so, on this very eventful day, as we say goodbye, he leaves with us a legacy for us to follow. That it is not impossible, but it is very achievable, even in this time and this age. Prem se bol Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. So my dear friends, let me at this time, let me pause to welcome and to salute a senior Pandit in our midst, and Pandit Rajesh Ji, who is also a long associate of the late Uncle Ramoutar, and also Pandit Siv Kumar, who is also here. So I'll ask them in a little bit to say a few words. So let me invite Pandit Rajesh Ji, who will bring greetings and prayer and blessings on this occasion.
Bolo Siyawala Ramachandra ki jai. Pandit Ji, other Pandits assembled today, members of the family, relatives and friends, villagers, neighbors, Jai Sitaram. Let me first, on behalf of my family and my uncles and aunties in foreign land, extend our condolences to the members of the Debe family. We are here to share with you and to bid farewell to this great soul, the late Uncle Maut. I know him as Uncle Maut. Only recently I learned the name Latchman Ramoutar, so I refer to him as Uncle Maut today. I have known Uncle Maut for all my life. Growing up as a little boy in my home, he was always at our home on many, many occasions, whether it be Ramai satsang or pujas or whatever we had, he was always there with members of the Ramai group attending at my grandfather's home. As a little boy running and playing, I didn't know who was who in those days, but I remembered him and other members of the group, Tulsi and others who will attend frequently to our home. But it is in 1987, I came to join the group. At the time, my grandfather was ailing, and I was asked by members of the group to share in moments of satsang. Uncle Royce is here, Doi, I see Alan Ji, and I was fortunate to share in 1987. I see Uncle birthday is on the 30th of January, but the first satsang I attended with Uncle Maut and the group was in the 31st of January, 1987. So that will span almost 40 years. I've known Uncle and been in his association in Ramai Satsang. Not only Uncle Royce, Teacher Tulsi, and all the older members who have gone, and those younger ones who are here with us as well, I was blessed to be in their company. And I always tell Uncle Maut that he is my guru. I will sit on the opposite side with Teacher Tulsi and the others in front of the Ramai, and he on the other side playing the harmonium. And I always wanted to learn the Ramai tune. What I will do, I will observe where he's starting the tune from. From that note, our 2 or 3 fingers, when I go home in the night, I will take my harmonium and start to play from there and try to figure out the tune. Next day when I come back again, where he stopped or where I learned until the first 3 notes, I will learn the other notes. And so, little by little, I learned a few of the Ramai tunes from Uncle Maut. Whenever I met him after that, I always recognized him as my guru, one of my many gurus. So I'm very thankful to him for whatever he had passed on silently to me. Not only that, but he always gave an advice. Like all the older members of the group, they always gave an advice to me as a young Pandit, and they helped to shape me into who I am today. So I'm here to pray with the family and to bid farewell to the soul and to ask Bhagwan's blessings upon his soul. Much could be said, but I know time is short, and there are so many others who want to make their contribution. I want to just do, with the permission of Panditji, one line of a bhajan, which he would always play for me. And I knew few bhajan at that time, but he always played this bhajan, and I always sang in the group in satsang. Rama bhajana karali jai, Rama bhajana karali jai, mana tuma Rama bhajana karali jai, Rama bhajana karali jai, Rama bhajana karali jai, mana tuma Rama bhajana karali jai. काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह रिपो काम काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह रिपु प्रबल होना नहीं दीजे, प्रबल होना नहीं दीजे। मन तुम राम भजन कर लीजे, राम भजन कर लीजे, राम भजन कर लीजे। मन तुम राम भजन कर लीजे। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। थैंक यू पल्लू जी।
Thank you very much, Pandit Rajesh ji, for those lovely words and bhajans. And as he spoke about Ramai tunes and singing in the group, I could tell you, as a young person starting up in satsang and so on, and being in Uncle Maut's company was no easy matter. It's either you could do it or you can't do it. Okay, and after you try and you made a mess and he give you a talk, that was the end of you and satsang. But my dear friends, he helped you to build your character, to be strong. And so we have one distinguished Pandit here in form of Pandit Rajesh, coming from that type of background. So we know that Dharma is in good hands. So part of the group also was Sister Malti Sinanan, and early on, who filled the gap between after the late Sister Tanti Bisun had sung. She took up the mantle until then. So I will invite her to come and do one bhajan for us. I know the late Uncle Mount was very fond of playing for her and joining with her in satsang, so she will now recall some of those memories and chant in his behalf.
Sitaram, everyone. On behalf of my family, first of all, condolences to Uncle Maut's family. Uncle Maut, in my days in the Ramai group, was like a father figure to me. In fact, when I was getting married, he bought my wedding outfit for me. He really treated me like a daughter. And every time I used to sing this song, he would say, "Good job, babe, good job," no matter where I was sitting in the group. So I will sing just a few lines of the song, if I am able. ले पुकार आई, आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसू की धार मेरे सामने. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that lovely rendition. It brings up memories of yesterday when this gentleman here would be eager to play these songs. I know. You will hear him when we go in the car. He will be revising in his mind and also singing along, preparing a program for the evening. So dedicated he was. And so, my dear friends, his hard work has brought us here and even brought the rain down as a sign of blessings for the work he had done. Let us, my dear friends, let us be clear about it. He was no way a perfect person, and so none of us here, we too, are or was perfect. But like him, we are aspiring. He aspired to do better in his way. He may have stumbled time and time again, but it was all part of the climb of building the foundation. As he would tell us, don't allow all this hard work to go to waste. Keep building. Keep building. And always keep something going on. Just like himself, when we started, after the separation of the group and so on, and we started, he was one of those persons who gave us the assurance that he will be with us. Also, the late Uncle Sugar, he said, son, I admire the stance you all taking to continue the good work. The late Uncle King, Uncle Sidanan, he met us in a satsang, and that gentleman took off his hat and placed it at my feet. And he says what? Son, say we struggled for satsang many, many years ago. No matter what had happened, we struggled to maintain satsang sense. And he is very proud that someone is standing in to carry on that legacy. He says, now he could die, his heart is swollen, that the work that they started will now be continued. Hence, my dear friends, the work has continued. It might not be the standard we like, but we soon get in there. Because, my dear friends, we all understand and let us know. And this is one gentleman would have told us. He echoed the sounds of the words of the late Dari Baba, and he said the same thing. The most enjoyable and peaceful time you can find in your life is when you sit peacefully and perform satsang. He stand the test to that. And so, my dear friends, today, as we say goodbye to him, we all would say a prayer in our mind that such a devotee will reside in the deepest recesses in the heart of the Lord. And when the persons like them would return, that they will come at a higher level to continue the good work. Joining with us also is another talented daughter of this village. I refer to none other than Tanti Molly, and I'll ask her to sing a bhajan on this occasion for us. A couple of times we also met her in satsang, and the satsang was transformed into very religious, to very energetic. So she also is aspiring to uphold Dharma in her own little way. And we admire her efforts. So today, on this occasion, she also sings and also sings. And we know that another daughter of this, a talented daughter of this soil, is listening to us from America. Also Sister Mala as well. who is listening on, who couldn't be here, was also a close associate. So, being of the same family now, Tante Molly will sing for us.
Jai Sitaram, everybody. जन्म तेरा बाटो ही बीत गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो जन्म तेरा बाटो ही बीत गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो 5 बरस का भोला भाला 5 बरस का भोला भाला अब तो 20 भयो मकर 25 से माया कारण मकर 25 से माया कारण देश ही देश गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो जन्म तेरा बात ही बीत गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो 30 बरस का अब मत कीजे 30 बरस का अब जिस अपके अब तो लोभ भयो माया जोरी लाख करोरी माया जोरी लाख करोरी अज हुना तृप्त भयो रे तूने कब हुना कृष्ण गयो जन्म तेरा बात ही बीत गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो जन्म तेरा बात ही बीत गयो रे तूने कब होना कृष्ण गयो सीताराम
Stay. And so now, my dear friends, we go to this part of, it's a very emotional part. The wife of the late Pandit Naresh, always considered Uncle Maut as her brother. Putting everything aside, she always considered from Man Kram aur Vachan, in thought, words and deeds. And every Raksha Bandhan day, she would tie the Rakhi. And so today, as she bid farewell to her brother, she invested with the Rakhi, even in this life and other existence, that they will continue to share the relationship of brother and sister. Brother and sister.
घायल मन का पागल पंछी उड़ने को बेकरार पंख है कोमल आँख है धुंधली जाना है सागर बार अब तू ही से समझा राह भूलेंगे कहाँ से हम तू प्यार का सागर है इधर झूम के गाए जिंदगी, उधर है मौत खरी, उधर है मौत खरी। कोई क्या जाने कहाँ है सीमा, उलझन यान परी, उलझन यान परी। कानों में जरा कह दो, कानों में जरा कह दो कि आए कौन दिशा से हम, कि आए कौन दिशा से हम। तू प्यार का सागर है, तू प्यार का सागर है, तू प्यार का सागर है। Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanti Moni. So, my dear friends, so the weather is giving us a little bit of leeway. So, I will, in a few minutes, I will invite the members of the family to come and their mala and flowers and so on to be placed on in the coffin and all of that. We will do that shortly. But, my dear friends, coming on probably for the last 10 years, or more than that, probably the last 20 years, the late Uncle Maut and our group became very, very close. So close that he knew one member is missing. He was always worried about that. And so today, the love that he shared, even sometimes he made the impossible become possible by his advice and also by his skill in teaching us to sing and all of these things. Okay, and being as a strong pillar. And today, we, the members of the group, want to show our honor, regard, and respect to this goodly gentleman for his services and his support and sincerity and blessings. So I invite members of my group as well. So first we will, the most loved of the group until recent times. You know, when we come sometimes, he will not recognize me, but he will recognize Anilaji, for sure. Start smiling from the time you reach by the gate. And I'll ask her to sing 2 lines before, and we will now do the ceremony of garlanding and also doing the arati and so on. So, sometimes in the group when I wanted to say, you shut up, let she sing. Because, like Malti, he also loved her very much and singing. Girlie said this was the 3rd daughter. Yeah. So I'll ask her to sing 2 lines. Not in a good emotional state she is in, but I'll ask her to do that just today as we say goodbye. One of his favorite bhajan in satsang as well, we'll now chant 1 verse.
दर्शन दो, दर्शन दो, दर्शन दो। हाथ जोड़ कर बार बार एक नन्हा बालक बोले,
so closely work, my dear friends. The love was always there. So, come over here. Come here, Debe. So the preparation, put on that. You put on. Put it. Fine, just on that. Come. So now invested with the mala, that love, that this time and even in the next time we all meet, that we will continue this good work that we have all been initiated into. Pushpamala Meryate Tapo Pratishtitam. Om Deepam Meryate Tapo Pratishtitam. Let me ask. What's your name again? What's your name again? Tanti Meena, to please do us a bhajan whilst we do this part of the program.
ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। प्रभु की प्रार्थना का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण। आए आत्मचल प्रभु को सौंप दे तू सारा जीवन। देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, ओ देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, कर ले अभिवादन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परम पिता का प्रेम पत्र बनकर तू शुभ वर पाले। किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, ओ किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, ओ जो मन में वदन। ज्योति बिंदु पर उसे है मेरी आत्मा, चल कर ले मिलन, अब 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 चल कर ले मिलन.
Thank you, DDG, for that wonderful song. Now I invite all the members of the family to offer your malas, and those who want to do arati and so on, please do orderly. And then this will be followed by all of us. After the closing ceremony, all of us will get a chance to pay our last respects. But by special request, by Videsh, Uncle Mort was also was very interested in the talent that you had. And the family has just requested that you sing one song in his honor. For those of us, let me remind you, I know you with the beard and thing, he's the son of the late Kailash Kaulesa, officer he is. Corporal? No, constable. Constable. Videsh Kaulesa was going to sing for us.
Start everybody. Uncle Mort was very, very, very instrumental in my spiritual part in life and religious part in life. Just for 1 minute, I just given a little story. So long time, my father was in the group. When he go in satsang, he said, "Karma a little bit, but I sleeping." One day, father go in satsang and he wasn't carrying. Uncle Mort pull up with the 280 man. He said, "Where the boy?" He said, "Nah, here carrying the boy again today." Uncle Mort made sure he park up. He wait until my mother organized me, and up the road we going again. You know, he was a good man, irreplaceable in society in Debe, one of the gentle giants. Little hot mouth, but what he had to tell you, he tell it, and he stood by it. Hunks, I hope that your journey is a peaceful one, and the song is for you. मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, युगल चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, जीवन दे के जाल बिछाया, रच के माया नाच नचाया, नाच नचाया, चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी, चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी, जब चिंतन में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, तुमने लाखों पापी तारे, मेरे बारी बाजी हारे, बाजी हारे, मेरे पास न पुण्य की पूंजी, मेरे पास न पुण्य की पूंजी, पर पूजन में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, राम हे राम, राम हे राम, घर घर अत को, धर धर बत को, कहाँ कहाँ अपना सरपत को, इस जीवन में मिलो ना तुमको, राम हे राम, इस जीवन में मिलो ना तुमको, मुझे मरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Messi. So, my dear friends, as the family is performing simple rites, now, wrong finger, this one, this. Yeah. Yeah. So, my dear friends, I've been asked also to ask another officer to give us greetings. This is Devanan. Hi, Devanan. I am told after his father, he was a good partner to Uncle Mount. I don't know what they used to talk because it never included me, so maybe he would give us an insight of what went on there. So, Officer Devanan.
Star Panditji, other Pandits from my family to yours, congratulations. I really don't have much to say on concerning Uncle Mount, is that Uncle Mount and my father was good friends. Was real good friends. They was personal friends. And I only have one thing to say this afternoon here is that on my other job, my father wasn't here, you know? And I put on my uniform and came by Uncle Moitel for his blessing on that inauguration of another job. I really can't say much this afternoon. Thank you, Pandit.
Thank you, officer, for those kind words. So, my dear friends, we are quickly coming to the end of this part of the program. So before we do the closing ceremony, I'll leave it for 2 minutes open for anyone who would like to give. I beg your pardon. Now we'll invite Shivanan and his team to bring a short eulogy, following which we will do the closing parts, and then everybody will have a chance to offer your flowers and so on. So Shivanan and Ambika, the duo, come here.
Sitaram, everyone. My grandfather, the late Latchman Ramoutar, was the son of the late Mr. and Mrs. Ramoutar Singh. He was born in January 1926. So if you do some maths, he would have been 90 years old. And I would have told my sisters to write something to help me say it. And at this time, I don't think I could remember what she wrote. But I'll just speak about what it is my grandfather would have taught us. So the purpose of a eulogy would have been to highlight the accomplishments of a person. So I'll just call out a few. One is just to reach the age of 90 is a big accomplishment. In addition to that, himself and my grandmother would have celebrated 70 years wedding anniversary, which is our next accomplishment. He would have taught me and the family a few things, but I would speak on my behalf a little bit, because no matter where I go, once he was there, he would always say, "Bait, come," and pull a chair next to him. And that is where my place was to sit. You know, one of the things he taught me when I started to work was, well, once you're young and you start to work, the first thing you like to do is go online. So he would have said, "Son, listen." He said he could go online. He said, "I used to have it when I was younger." He said, "But any time you go to line and you cannot go to work the next day, then you cannot climb again." He showed dedication to the village, the Ramai group. I know growing up, all of us staying here, we would come and stay, and by 6:30 or 6 o'clock, 280 trunk full of musical instruments, because Grandpa was going to Ramai. Regardless if we were there or not, he would have said that they would have made a promise to somebody, and he had to fulfill that promise. All of us know him by different names: Latchman, Papi, Maud, Grandpa, and Jijipa. And today we are just here to celebrate the life that he would have lived. I mean, we have heard from a few persons the type of person that he was, the dedication that he had, the love he had for his family, right? All the grandchildren would have come from right in this house, growing up here. And while all of us might not be here today, we are all proud to come from this family and be a child, a grandchild, and a great-grand from him. Okay. Additionally, I would like to thank some persons. I can't say neighbors, because while they live close, it is more of a family. The late Uncle Doc and his family, Auntie Rajday and her family, Uncle Sankar and his family, Auntie Bluey, Auntie Mala, Mitra Singh, all of them who were here. And personally, a special thank you to Kevin and Navin, who were here that morning who showed the strength and courage to administer CPR, while I believe some of us were in such a shock that we did not know what to do or how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivanan, for that, for the effort of including your sentiments in this morning's Antishti Karma. My dear friends, we have reached to that moment. But let me just ask for 2 minutes more, but at 10:30 we are closing here and moving on to the other part. So I'm leaving it for 2 minutes for anybody who would like to make a contribution, just for 2 minutes. I'll leave it open now before we move to the closing prayer.
Sitaram, everybody. I was told in 1945, my mother asked me a question. How many brothers you all? I said, Ma, we have 6. He said, no, you have 8 brothers. He said, always remember, Sugrim Raghunathan, Sugar, and Mount are your 2 brothers. Why I would not say member of the Berry family? Because I am a member of the Berry family. And I have a lot of nieces and nephews come from this. I grew up with Mount. Personally, I know him about 60 years. He was my educator. You know why I'm standing on his feet? Because he is my guru. He's my teacher. He taught me the way of life. Sugar was the next one. I had Uncle Sidhu Jagan. I had Jwala Prasad, who actually taught me the way of life. And today, as a guru, I would just offer one of the greatest prayer that he taught me. He played the music for even that prayer. And today I dedicate this prayer to my late brother, Maut. Let's all pray. Dhyam sada paribhavagnamama bheshtatoham tirthaspadam sibiran chanutam saranyam virthyartiham pranatapal bhavam vipotam Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam Neelambujam Shamal Komalangam Sita Samaru Piduvam Bhagyam Parno Mahasayak Charchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvan Sanatham. Go, my brother, in peace. He was the founding member of Pandit Rampasad Tiwari group. As Rajesh is here, thank you for coming, brother, and Shiv Kumar and Pandit officiate in front. I thank you so much for being a member of this family and wish my brother goodbye, boy. See you the next. Thank you, Pandit.
Thank you, Uncle Razi, for that wonderful contribution. But as we will recognize that the hymn that Uncle sang cannot be the same until you hear the notes of the harmonium played by the late Latchman Ramoutar. So, 1 more minute for those who might want to give a contribution. Oh.
I'm just the camera.
Sitaram Namaskar, Salam Alaikum. My name is Sally and I'm the daughter of the late Mr. Latchman Ramoutar Singh, only sister Merle. to our Reverend Pandit Mitra and other Pandits present today, to my uncle Charan, grandcharan and family, and to all our relatives and community members of whom I have grown and learned throughout my childhood, I offer my sincere condolences from my family, from my sisters, from my brother Robert, Reynold, and Lennox. My uncle was a devoted servant of God and a dedicated follower of Dharma. It is not easy to live a life guided by Dharma, to participate in satsang night after night, to serve the community selflessly, and to remain committed to one's faith. Not many people can do what he did. He was a gentle soul, yet he also had a strong and meaningful voice. He was one of the few remaining members of this generation, and his passing marks the end of an era to many of us. Today I pray to Sri Krishna to guide him on his spiritual journey. May we cherish the memories, the moments we shared with him, keep his teachings close to our hearts, and continue to pray for his soul. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to say something today. One lesson I have learned in life is to do good, serve others, and live with conscience, integrity, and love for one another. And these are the things that truly matters. My uncle have taught me a lot. And being in Mandir and serving the Lord and doing sewa, we are certainly following in his footsteps. I want to thank the family who have taken the time to take care of him medically when he was not well. Gilly, Boyan, Paras, Angie. Not many people have the opportunity to actually have someone to take care of them. When my mother died, you know, before she died, she used to always say that if anything happened to my brother, please be there, please show up. And showing up and being there for people is the most important thing you could ever do in life. So thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Rest in peace, Uncle.
Thank you. Now, Mia, for 1 minute more, I now invite Sister Reverend Debe Singh, to bring words. She's also a member. She's a member of the family, and she would bring some benedictions on this day.
Sitaram, I stand here at the request of the late Mr. Latchman Ramoutar. It was his wish that I speak whenever he leaves this earth to go to his maker. This morning, family, relatives, neighbors, friends from near and far have made the necessary arrangements to attend the funeral of a life well-lived Mr. Latchman Ramoutar. Many had to cancel appointments, rearrange schedules to empathize and support the Ramoutar family in their time of grief, separation, and loss. Your presence here is an affirmation of your love and care and compassion for this family as we empathize with them. We gather to celebrate and to thank God for a life that honored God through faith and love. The patriarch of the Ramoutar family and an active member of Pandit Ramprasad Tiwari's Ramai group until his health started to deteriorate. He was a man of faith, commitment, and dedication, and served his God with distinction for many years. We are reminded to number our days while we walk on earth, because time is precious. Mr. Ramoutar spent his time wisely in service to others and devotion to God. Through acts of kindness, love for family, and unwavering faith, demonstrated God's goodness. He recognized that this world was not his home and he was only here on loan. Therefore, he honored God through his involvement in temple activities and the community work for most of his life. Friends, that is inevitable and is no respect of persons. In fact, the only thing fair in this life is death, and no one is spared. Psalm 116, verse 15 reminds us, precious is the sight of the Lord is the death of a faithful servant. And Hebrews 9 and 27 tells us, it is appointed to humankind once to die. Our beloved Latchman Ramoutar, life had certainly left its mark on us, and for some that mark was imprinted in words and action. He chose spirituality rather than worldly pleasures. He realized that life changes and seasons come and go, and therefore he served God and humankind to the best of his ability. Though he is no longer with us, his spirit lives on in our hearts. He leaves behind more than memories. He leaves a legacy of quiet strength. His influence will live on in all of us who knew him and love him. His life made a lasting impression on many of us. We will carry his memories and his faithfulness to God with us throughout our own journey. He stood like a pillar in our family, strong, steady, and served his God with integrity, humility, and honesty. Let us learn to cherish the moments we have together here on earth. And let us remember tomorrow is not promised. Let us honor his legacy, and let us try to live in the same faith he lived. An unknown author said, death leaves a heartache no one can steal. Love leaves a memory no one can heal. We bow together in prayer. May Almighty God grant his soul eternal rest and comfort all of us he has left behind. Thank you for a faithful example you set and the love you shared with so many people here on earth. Rest peacefully, Uncle Ramoutar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My dear friends, for such a legendary person, we can go on and on. But as destiny would have it, this is where we will end this morning's service. Let us all stand. Yajman, are you? Come back. Come. Take flowers. Let us all pray as we ask the Almighty Father, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Mahavishnu Bhagavan, to comfort the soul of our dear beloved. And wherever that soul is, let it be blessed in safe keeping and in peace. We ask that the blessings be upon his family so they can enjoy that peace, protect them and guide them, and all of us present here, as we say thank you, Lord, for such a wonderful person you have given to us. Om Anadini Danau Devang Shanka Chakra Gadadharam Akshay Pundari Kakshang Preta Moksha Prado Bhavata Preta Moksha Prado Bhavata Sharanagat Pal Kripal Prabhu हमको एक आस तिहारी है तुम्हारे समदूसर और को नहीं दीनन को हितकारी है सुदिलेत सदा सब जीवन की अटही कौन वेस तारी है प्रतिपाल करे भी नहीं बदले अस कौन पिता महतारी है अस कौन पिता महतारी है ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा त्वमेव सर्वं ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम ओम तत्सत प्रेत आत्मा शांति ओम तत्सत प्रेत आत्मा शांति ओम तत्सत प्रेत आत्मा शांति प्रेम से बोले सी अरियमा पित्त देवता की जय विष्णु भगवान की जय Offer the flowers. My dear friends, those who want to come pay the last respects, we'll have a minute to do so. Then we'll move the coffin to by the gateway, where we will make the first pinda, the first manjal, the pinda offering. Thank you on behalf of the Ramoutar family. I wish to thank each and everyone for joining in this morning's Anteshti Karma. We pray that you will continue to support this family and give them your unceasing support and bliss. The procession moves now to the Mosquito Creek. Those of us who are desirous of going there, please walk with your umbrellas and so on. The weather looks a little bit bleak. So do have a safe journey home. For those of us, until we meet again. Jai Jai, Sita Ram.
वाल्मीकि जो है सो इन मंगल मूर्तियों को निहार करके उनके हृदय के अंदर ये बहुत सा आनंद प्राप्त स्वामी तुलसीदास जी अपनी मंडली में भाषण करते हैं कि हे संतजन, ऐसे सुंदर वाणी को श्रवण कर सत्य भगवान रामचंद्र जी अपने दोनों हाथ को जोड़ करके बड़े सुंदर कोमल वाणी द्वारा क्या कहें?
So great was the joy in Valmiki's heart. Why did he feel this sadness? Because he had seen with his own eyes Sri Ram, who looked like a fountain of happiness. O Swami Tulsidas really saying to his audience, dear devotees, at this time the Lord joined his lotus-like path and he began to speak to his great father. The words which he spoke to the saints were as sweet as nectar. Let us hear those words.